Hello, everyone. Hello, and welcome to the Hemingway Jones Pen Show live. This is our little corner of the internet where we talk about fountain pens, inks, journals, and journaling, and just about everything and anything that's going to keep you inspired. And remember, I am unaffiliated. I'm not a pen shop. I'm not trying to sell you anything. I'm just a guy who is relating their experience in learning all about these magical writing instruments that we're all enthralled about. So, welcome. Very happy to see you all. Happy to see a lot of the usual suspects in the comments. Always love to see the chat being healthy. Hello to everyone. I see Wasky Squirrel is here. Good evening. Lovely to see you, my friend. And thanks for all the likes. I can see the thumbs up flying by. So thanks for all of that. I appreciate it very much. So we have a really exciting and interesting show for you tonight. I expect it to move very quickly. I'm going to have to really move to fit this all in. So we basically have three things to speak about. We have the Omas Ogiva Fountain Pen that Frank Zhang sent to me. So we're going to open it, we're going to ink it, and we're going to try it out. And we're going to talk about it a little bit. And then ultimately down the road, you guys know me, I'm going to do some full-blown awesome video on it. It's pretty extraordinary. I've already seen it, but, I haven't inked it yet. So we're going to share that together. So very nice pen. The other thing we're going to do is we're going to talk about what I just filmed yesterday. And those of you that follow me on Instagram already know. So yesterday I filmed Cool or Not Cool Part 2. And I'm so excited about it. I'm so excited about it that I made a preview for it. So I made a coming attraction, all in good fun. And I'm going to attempt to play that for you this evening as well. I say attempt because this is the Hemingway Jones show, and you know that technology is not my friend. But I did look at everything. I believe I have it down. So I'm planning somewhere maybe half past the hour or so. I will play the preview of Cool or Not Cool Part 2. And believe me when I tell you, you do not want to miss this. It's super fun. The cheese factor is at 12, and I just think you'll really get a kick out of it. My wife and I were giggling away when I showed it to her after dinner. So I think you'll enjoy that. And then the third thing is we're going to have an Illuminati member join us, Terry Edginton, who is just absolutely amazing, has an incredible collection of pens, fantastic knowledge of pens, is very generous, and just an all-around fantastic person. So I'm continuing the Illuminati members as guests that we've been doing over the past couple of weeks, but that will be suspended next week because why? Because we're having a guest. And I'm going to devote the entire time to them. The guest is none other than Brendan Schmidt, who sent over the Lamy 2000 because he's just crazy like that. And I think it'll be really great to hear all about what he has going on in his world and kind of what new pens are out for the season. It is autumn now. Well, not technically, but it's sure starting to feel like it here in New England. You may have noticed I'm turning over my wardrobe. You're not going to see any brightly colored alligators anymore, I would think, until May. The alligators are hibernating. You may see a navy one, but my winter and autumn shirts are coming out. So things are moving along. But I think we're going to have a lot of fun this evening, so join us, won't you? And if you haven't subscribed, please do. I'm so close to 8,000 subscribers. I'd love to have more people on this journey. So close. Maybe we could get to 8,000 by the end of this broadcast, like a telethon. Remember those telethons? They used to have like the thermometer behind them and they had a goal. Well, it would be wonderful if you've been thinking about joining. Just join the channel. It'd be brilliant. Okay, I've probably spoken long enough on preambles. What do you think? Maybe it's time to get into the meat of the matter. What do you think? So I was very fortunate enough that Frank Zhang of Omas asked me if I wanted a pen. And anytime one of the manufacturers, one of the incredible people in our community asks, would you like a pen? It's certainly hard to say no. And once again, like no editorial constraints on it or anything else. Just what do you think, of this pen? Didn't even ask me to make a video. So I guess that's assumed. I mean, everybody knows if I get a new pen, it's going into a video. But extremely exciting to get something that is kind of as interesting as an Omas. And we all know the story of Omas, right? So it's one of those legendary Italian pen brands known for amazing nibs that were very wet and expressive and just people swear by their nibs. I remember all my trips to Venice when I would be on my way to San Marco. There was this shop that was right on the corner and it sold a bunch of stuff. It sold like tobacco products and it sold some keychains and tchotchkes and things. And they also sold fountain pens, and they had like ST DuPont lighters and things. They had a full collection of fountain pens, and featured in there were the old Omas fountain pens. And I was always really curious, and I probably should have picked one up on the trip. It would have been kind of a neat way to signal and remember Venice by. Wouldn't you think? So as we know, Omas stopped producing pens. And the company as it was is now gone. And there are some parties that are claiming some kind of legacy from it. Like Scribo, I believe, has the tooling kits and things supposedly on how they make their nibs and all that. I'm actually really excited to get a Scribo pen. I don't have one. I have their ink. I really like it. So Scribo's on my list. But they're sort of like claim some of the Omas legacy. And if you want to learn more about this, on Goldspot Pens, Tom Oddo just interviewed Frank Zhang, and it was incredibly informative. So a lot of what I'm telling you, I learned from watching that video. So you may want to check it out yourself. It's on, of course, YouTube, and if I can figure it out, I'll put it in the description. But, Tom Oddo's channel is super fun. But so Scribo has some claim, and then I believe that the pen, it was sort of like a pen club where you could talk about your pen, customize your pen, all that. They have a claim, and they're somewhat upset that Frank Zhang and his group bought Omas. And personally, I stay out of all of that. The politics of pen companies and things is not that interesting to me. It's a narrative, and I think a lot of us fall into narrative traps, and especially journalists and people who make videos like myself. It's super easy because if you go around and you research what it is you're about to speak about, it's the prevailing dialogue that's out there, and it becomes this river, this flow, and it's really easy to jump into the water and get carried along. And I think some of that is very important in certain situations, but my situation is very unique because I'm not here to sell you a pen. I'm just here to tell you the experience. Frank Zhang and his group bought the trademark. They bought all the diagrams of the pens. They bought basically the assets, whatever the extant assets were of the company at the point when they bought them. It'd be super interesting to read that purchase and sale agreement. That's the banker in me. The commercial lender would love to see that because that's what I do in my day job. But that's what Frank Zhang and his group have with Omas. And they're making the pens in Italy. They have incredible features that are really interesting. So to me, the politics of it matter very little because there are many heritage brands that have completely changed how they make their pens. Even my beloved Montblanc, at around what was it, in the 1980s? I think in the early 1990s they stopped using ebonite feeds, and then for in the 70s I believe the 149 was like pure plastic. So there's these breaks in the heritage, if you want to call them that. Maybe if you're going in and you want to resuscitate a company, you have an obligation to live up to the spirit of that company. And it certainly seems like Frank Zhang's on his way. And the new Omas seems to be trying to do everything as the old company did, that high level of craftsmanship, the attention to detail, and also that passion for Italian design and the expression and the beautiful experience of writing with it. And I respect that. Reminds me a bit of Esterbrook, and how Esterbrook was taking a brand that I had a lot of affection for, which is Esterbrook, of course, and they kept the spirit of Esterbrook. They offer a bunch of different types of nibs in the way that Esterbrook did. Esterbrook had something like 150 screw-in nibs back in the day. And the new Esterbrook doesn't have that many, but they probably have the most nibs that you can order direct of any company I could think of. And it's a way of keeping in the spirit of the original heritage. So maybe I'm being a little long-winded, and I felt like I should mention a little bit about it because, first of all, I found it so fascinating in Tom's video. Tom did a fantastic job interviewing, and he asked all the right questions in that very gentle way that he has. He's a great interviewer and interviewee. If you've seen my interview with him, I thought he was fantastic. But so I thought I should mention it also because I do occasionally look at like Reddit and whatnot, and I know there's a lot of talk about it, but truth be told, I look at each pen as it exists in front of me, even down to the little unit. So I've received Jinhao pens that I didn't like, that I thought were scratchy and terrible. The overwhelming consensus out there in the pen community is that the Jinhao pens were awesome. Mine wasn't. I ordered 2 more. One of those was awful. One was good, really good in fact. But so now I have a 33% hit rate. Well, could I be honest to you as just a guy who's telling you about their pen experiences? If I told you that these pens are fantastic, you're almost tempted to. You feel the weight of everyone else's opinion saying how great it is. And people came down on me hard in the comments. Like, how could you say that? Mine's perfect, and, you know, all sorts of craziness. But my commitment is to you and the truth and this journey that I'm on for how each individual pen feels. And that's what I'm about to find out with this one. But I thought I'd do that little preamble just to set the scene, okay? So I see a lot of people in the comments, a lot of conversations. You guys seem to all know each other. I love it. A lot of that is because almost everyone in the chat this evening is in the Illuminati or Cognoscenti Member pen pal group. So you guys are all getting to know each other and become really good friends. So it's super fantastic that we have that. And if you become an Illuminati or Cognoscenti member of this channel, we'll exchange letters too. You and I, just you and me, we'll chat. Well, can you chat through a letter? Well, we'll talk through a letter. Super fun. So consider it. All right. So let's talk about this pen. Shall we? I think we should. There we go. The wonders of technology. My second camera is working, doing pretty well with technology this evening. So here it comes in a nice Omas sleeve. I always felt like this font looks a bit 1970s, doesn't it? But it probably goes back all the way to the 30s because a lot of the 1970s is kind of filtered through the 30s. But it has the sleeve. So we'll take the sleeve off. Then we have a nice box. And why am I showing you all this? Because it makes a really nice gift. And I think that's valuable. So I really like when this opens and you can just plop it out without sort of fiddling with a box. You get this really handsome. It's a handsome case, isn't it? I think so. I think it's quite handsome. Okay. So this lovely box, and I guess this would be the unveiling, right? If I had soundtrack, we would play some kind of a fanfare. But here we go. So, look at this. I really like the hang tag, by the way. Although I've been cushioning it, and I've been leaving it on just so you could see this. Oh, you know what? We have to take a break in the proceedings. You know I like to drag things out, but I would be remiss. I'd be remiss. I don't like to be remiss, but I would be remiss if I did not mention the generous, the lovely Laddie Gardner with a $25 super chat. Space Station Visitor Pass. Thank you very much. That's beautiful. Thanks, Laddie. I really appreciate it. That helps to make the channel self-sustaining because YouTube does not push this channel. Even though I'm close to 8,000 viewers, we're so niche that it just doesn't really get the attention. I don't think it ever would because YouTube likes to show people blowing up televisions in the middle of fields and not people talking about pens and journaling and their passions. It's just the way of the world. So thank you to Laddie for being a generous contributor and for always being there for me because I go to you for a lot of advice and I really appreciate it. So thank you very much. And I see Jason, Wasky Squirrel, I already see a difference in the packaging. Yeah, well there you go. It's good for you to point those things out because you would know better than I. I never owned an Omas. But I can tell you, do you see the nice writing here on the band? You can see the symbol. A really nice clip. By the way, this is the Ogiva in blue and gold, which I really quite like the blue. It's sort of translucent. It has a quality. It is acrylic resin. But boy, is it nice. It's just really nice. It would be nice. I would have preferred if they didn't have this plastic on the gold. You know me. Do you guys know me by now? I really like when the gold goes all the way to the end like Pelican. But what can you do? It is really gorgeous though. I really like this. Do you see here you have a Greek meander? And believe me, you'll be able to see it better once I do a full review. But you have a Greek meander right here at the end of the grip. It's just really nice. It kind of tells your finger to stop. And you also have that really cool Art Deco arrow design on the nib, which is gorgeous. The nibs are made in-house, and they're 14 karat gold with an ebonite feed. And the ebonite feed looks kind of vintagey. It's kind of flat. There's no fins to mess up, as I have done. So very, very cool. So you have the threads here, which don't feel very obtrusive. There's a step up here where I imagine the cap fits in. Yeah. So very nice design. Sort of, I would say somewhere in the neighborhood of a 146 in its dimensions. It's got some engraving in the barrel too, which is really cool. I'm sorry, in the cap, which is really cool right there. It does feel a little 146. Oh, it posts really long though. It posts rather long. Some of you folks might like long posting pens. I don't think I'll post it. It feels a bit long to me. That's the one thing. I probably won't post it. But I haven't been posting my 146 either. So, okay, I have picked an ink out already because I didn't want to rifle through everything. And I think the Bleu de Profondeur by J. Urban, the legendary J. Urban ink, should be a good choice. So let's ink it up. Now, I didn't clean it. So normally I clean my pens before I ink them up, but I didn't do that. So we're just going to have to hope for the best. I guess I really didn't have to screw it in here, but that's all right. So piston feels solid. It's got some heft to it. This pen, I would say it's I have the dimensions here. It's 39.7 grams. So it's just around 40 grams. So that makes it on the heavier side. So if you like that, then you'll like this. A lot of folks really like heavier pens. I personally get in the mood for a heavy pen, and then I get in the mood for a lighter pen. So it really depends. Look at that. Nice and messy. Nice and messy. We like that. I'll pull that out of the way. I got my handy shop towel here. I'm gonna clean this bad boy out. One of the things I really like about not having anything delicate on the back of the feed is you can kind of wipe it a little bit more aggressively, because I can make a mess. I really can. Okay, that's pretty white. And I got some paper, which is Clairefontaine. Did a little writing here. By the way, my wife is talking about this pen, and she says it's 1990s Versace. I thought that was a fantastic description of that Aurora. But we're not talking about Aurora. We're talking about Omas. So, what will my wife say about the Omas? I don't know. By the way, this pen, it's commonly available for $360 US. And I'll say that a 14 karat gold nib with an ebonite feed, that's a fair price. Wow. Wow, I'm getting carried away here. I kind of like this. This is very smooth, guys. You know what I'm almost thinking of when I'm writing with this? I don't even want to say it. I don't want to say it because I'm afraid you may say, Hemingway, you're out of your wits. This writes like an 823. That's what it feels like. If I were blindfolded right now, I would swear I'm writing with an 823. It's just like a little bit of feedback. So smooth. It makes that nice scribing noise that I love. Yeah, this is a lot of fun, guys. Oh boy. Oh boy. I could get in a lot of trouble with this. I could get a lot of trouble. This is a delightfully smooth pen. And it writes with alacrity, with abandonment, with joy. Yes, this is a very, very wet pen. It's just going. That's pretty nice, guys. That's really nice. I hope you can see that pretty well. I feel like you can. I think right now, if I were to give you some, I mean, these are all first thoughts, right? So here's some first thoughts. Styling, it's gorgeous. Just gorgeous. The blue is like deep, beautiful, seductive blue. Like a cold body of water just before you dive into it. The gold is just glistening and glorious, and it has a Greek meander, which seems to be a common theme because this Aurora has a Greek meander as well. So I really like that. It's a really nice touch. It's funny. It's associated with Italian design, but it's also very, very Greek. The piston action is solid. Absolutely solid. The clip, the clip looks normal. Looks like a clip. It's got a ball of metal a nice bend to it. I haven't clipped it on anything yet. It feels tight. I'm always a little wary of these that aren't spring-loaded. It doesn't feel spring-loaded. It's just bent. You do have to be careful with these. If you put it in too thick of a piece of fabric or something, you could lose it. I don't mean break it off. I mean just lose the clippability. So I'm usually careful with these. I don't really clip them around. But this would be fine with a shirt pocket. Absolutely fine. Can you accidentally twist the knob with the cap? No. There's no way you can twist this knob. It's very solid and it's very set. It's like when you shut it, it is shut. So if you were to post it, I don't see a possibility of it. But posting it feels awkward, guys. It really feels too long to me, and I wonder if it wouldn't just wiggle off. I would say you can post it because I just did, but I would say don't. It's just not that interesting. Where this thing really shines is the nib. It's just brilliant. It's wet without being undisciplined. It's expressive. It's good on the cross hatches, if that's an okay term to use. A lot of times with wetter pens, with kind of I don't know, this is definitely a medium. A lot of times I run into, with the way I write, when I cross my T's, you can't quite, it doesn't always come out, or you don't get the full line that you're asking the pen to deliver to you. With this, I feel like I'm getting it. So, yeah, it's a joy. This one's coming to work with me tomorrow, guys. I really like it. I really like it. It's brilliant. It's really, really brilliant. It's got some weight to it. It's got some weight. It does remind me maybe a little pointier than a 146, but definitely in that ballpark. So there we have it. I think it's brilliant. Yeah. I mean, I think you get a pretty nice value too with a pen that's made in Italy with a piston fill, an ebonite feed, and a 14 karat gold nib for $360 is actually a really good deal. It's not bad at all. I'm impressed. I really like it. I think you get a lot of value, and it's a great writer. I mean, you put it up against something like the Pilot Custom 823, which, is nearly perfect. But say if you just look at it in components, right? I mean, you have acrylic resin here. You have that pen is kind of basic in materials, but has a fantastic nib. But, certainly comparable. And maybe you get a little something extra with the ebonite feed. So a really, really beautiful, amazing fountain pen. So thanks to Frank Zhang for sending this over. I'm sure you guys are going to see it contextualized in some future video. You may see it again. I was thinking of doing some updates on some of the pens that I've been writing with lately, like the Aurora Optima, which I'm rather enjoying. This is developing a story, guys. Story pens are interesting. And now the Omas Ogiva, which this pen is extraordinary. I'm very, very happy to own this. So I don't have a rating system, but if I did, I would say this is Hemingway Jones approved. I really like it. Avec Posier says, I will be utilizing the term alacrity far more frequently moving forward. I like the term alacrity, and I do anthropomorphize my pens. I'm sure you've noticed that before. So definitely fun. All right, I think we've probably said all there is to say for now about the Omas Ogiva. Now I'm going to write with it I'm really going to use it, and then I'm going to make a full-length video on it for all of you. So my videos right now, I'm up into November on my production schedule. So I've been very productive over the weekends. So I think you will enjoy it. The autumn videos are extraordinary. I really tried hard to bring you some original content and some content. Oh, thanks for the likes, guys. I see the likes going by. Thank you very much. Some content that is a bit of a retread, and in that I'm talking about the cool or not cool. So I promised I'd play this at about 1/2 and I was thinking of pushing it off because I love to torture you guys by first telling you about recording it. But you know what? I'm not. I'm going to play it. So stand by as I figure out this technology. So what you're about to see is a preview of Cool or Not Cool Part 2 that I made over dinner. So it gives you an idea of what's coming up, and then I'll talk about it after the fact. So stand by. Okay, what did you guys think of that? Was that fun? I thought it was fun. We certainly had a great time making it. So here was the fear. Okay, my wife and I did the first Cool or Not Cool, where we put a selection of fountain pens in front of us, and then we just simply decided which ones we thought were cool, and which ones we thought were very much not cool. And it was a lot of fun. I think it was sort of Helen's big kind of exposure to the camera. The other times that she's joined the show was much more informal. Like this time, the focus is very much on her. And I thought she did absolutely amazingly, had so much charisma, certainly upstaged me in every scene. So, I think that it was a lot of fun. I think you guys really enjoyed it. I noticed from the comments, you said very nice things. There was a lot going on. So we knew we wanted to do a part 2. And we were initially going to do Cool or Not Cool fountain pen inks. But we decided that we're going to do that next. It's some future date, but soon. So I think you will see that soon. So we decided just to do Cool or Not Cool 2 because I got a whole bunch of new, interesting fountain pens. So I laid them out and we filmed again. And guys, I was worried. I really was worried. I was worried that we wouldn't have lightning strike twice, right? Isn't that the phrase? And there was that sort of quality to the first one where it was sort of charming and fun. And it's really hard to replicate that, except that I think what made it good was just Helen. And as long as you get Helen in front of a camera, it's going to be good. And she really brought her A game, if you will. She was so funny and so insightful. Some of the stuff that she comes up with for perspective on pens is just so brilliant and so interesting that I think I'm going to use some of them in the channel going forward. And some of the repartee between us, and once again, we were cracking up making it, as you can see in the coming attraction. So I think you're definitely going to enjoy this. It was super fun, and if you become a member, there is a blooper reel. So there were things I took out and I put into a blooper reel. Lately, I haven't had that many blooper reels because I've been filming differently. And I've been making fewer mistakes, believe it or not. And this one, though, there were a lot. There was some really funny, ridiculous moments. I'm trying to think if I should tell you some. I don't want to ruin anything. But just to give you a preview, there was one where I reached out and I said something about a pen. I'm like, here, this pen, and it's this. And then I'm like, yeah, it's not that. And we just started cracking up. And I think it's that kind of chemistry. So I think you're going to enjoy it. It's super fun. And it comes out soon. But not too soon. It comes out, I believe, the second week of November. So my production schedule is pretty much out there. And then we'll take some breaks at Christmas where I'll probably do 2 live shows instead of actual videos. Because people aren't watching videos as much during Christmas. And it's the same with actually right now. The views are down a little bit when people go back to school. Everyone gets really busy. And you don't get as much activity. So I wanted to show you guys something else too. So I've been filming with Joost over at Appelboom and doing his podcast, and I hope you saw that the first episode is up. So I hope you catch that on his channel on Appelboom Bites. We met with the CEO of Retro 51, and he sent a really nice care package. So thank you, Jeff. I really appreciate it. So I got a nice Winnie the Pooh pen, and Retro 51 has the best packaging. Whoopsie. So this is a rollerball, which is fantastic because it's Winnie the Pooh, and I think we all know where this is going. So I'm sure this will go to my daughter very, very soon. So super excited about this. It's a lot of fun. Winnie the Pooh pen. And then some Vincent van Gogh action. Not the Visconti version, but the Retro 51 version. Also in rollerball. So absolutely beautiful. And you guys probably know my wife is going to take this one. So super exciting and fun. And lastly, this gorgeous Tornado fountain pen. So this you will see on this channel, and I'm sure I'll do a review. It's really nice. It's so pretty. So I'm very excited. These are my first Retro 51s. So stay tuned for some Retro 51 talk as well. So super exciting. So thanks for sending these over. Very nice stuff. It's been a lot of goings on. A lot of shooting with Joost and a lot of fun in other stuff. Let me see what you guys have to say. Debbie Podgorski. Nice pens. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I'm really excited for those. I like the themes. Retro 51 has a lot of really cool themes. Very cool. All right. Very good stuff. So I saw a question about when Dark Academia is going up. So let me take a look at the schedule and let you know some of what's coming up in the future so that you can prepare and put a reminder on your calendar. Because I'm just going to bring this over. This is my iPad. Fantastically handy device for what I do. I make all my thumbnails with this. If she'll show her, see? So these are all my thumbnails. So here comes one. The shocking truth of Lamy 2000. From someone who hated it. That's a video coming up. Sometimes I make these without actually filming it. So here's one I made. I didn't film the episode. I wrote it, but I haven't filmed it. The perfect fountain pen. Which is it? So I wrote an episode about Plato and perfection and fountain pens, but I haven't filmed it. Oh, here you go. This is something you probably want to see. Whoa. Is it cool or not cool? Cool or not cool? So these are all my thumbnails. But let me get into the schedule because it's very exciting. And half the time I forget when things are coming out. So this week is an ode to the Mont Blanc Egyptomania that I filmed at the Met. So it goes back to the summer when we were all at the Met. And I filmed this episode there. And it should be really pretty. So hopefully that comes across very nice. Then after that is Dark Academia Applied. So this is like Dark Academia 3. It's the Dark Academia at the Isabella Stewart Gardner Museum. And it was me going into the museum and studying handwriting, the different historic handwriting. And I also talk about the history of the museum, the greatest and biggest theft of art that there ever has been, that was sadly at that museum. And I talk about some things that only I know about the museum because I used to work there. And that's actually how I met Helen, because she worked there as well. So it should be a pretty exciting and pretty interesting episode. So, very cool. And then all the other stuff is coming up after it. I have so much stuff around me, guys. I just feel almost overwhelmed. Let me go to some of your comments. So, this is interesting. So, Smin says, Peyton Street Pens is a great business and so helpful. Answered all my questions in a hunt for a vintage Waterman. They are great. I use them. I buy most of my vintage pens from them. And I just find them to be really excellent. I love their selection. And I love their descriptions. And they always show a writing sample. So they're really good. And if you follow my Instagram, I'm often posting things that I would buy. Like, somebody please buy this Waterman pen. Right, Kurt? You know, somebody help me and buy it before I do. So it should be really, really interesting. Jason says, prepping ahead of time is the secret to my success. Glad to see I'm not the only one. Thanks, buddy. I think you're talking about me making the thumbnails first. I sometimes do that. Sometimes you start with concept and then you work your way backwards in the creative process. So, you know, I still have to get you on the show. You got to do the show sometime. I'm thinking of just sending you the link so that you can just log in whenever you're around. And we'll just break format and just have you on. Because you're just tough to pin down, my friend. I'd love to have you on. Be a lot of fun to chat with you. So, very, very good stuff. I don't know where Terry is. Terry is late. So I don't know if she's having an issue joining us or if something happened to Terry where she's not able to log on, which is okay. But it would have been nice if she could join us. You know, this Omas is just like glaring at me now. I'm just like really excited to use it. I think I'm going to use it this evening when I journal. I've been journaling quite a bit lately. And I find myself going very deep. I think there's something about autumn that brings out introspection. Like for me, New Year's is more like a haze. It's sort of like a post-holiday transitional period, and it's really autumn when I'm reflecting and thinking about the previous year and the year to come. So it's pretty exciting, and I live in a place that basically owns autumn. We are surrounded by apple orchards, and when the leaves change, it's absolutely beautiful. There's all these gorgeous woods and everything else. So very nice. Oh, Terry, are you not able to log into the live because you're not coming up on my my board here? So I might try to send you this link. Maybe the link changed or something. So let me see if I can send you the link, Terry. Sorry, guys. Bear with me. Oops. No. Yeah. So, Terry, if you can just click on that link that I sent you on Instagram, it should take you in. With any luck. It'd be nice to see Terry. Otherwise, we're going to have to see her another night. And the wonders of technology. So, I am nearly out of things to share with you. But I can say that this Aurora Optima is brilliant. And it's so pretty. It's very small though. And I'm dying to do a video on this. I just need to think of an angle. Of something creative. But look at the size difference between it and the Omas. So it's really quite small. But when it posts, it's definitely full size. So very nice. You want to see how this one writes? While we wait to see if... Ah, there we go. I was going to say. We have Terry. Terry, what happened? Oh, hold on a second. I can't hear you. So let me see. Boy, this is no fun. Terry? Are you on mute or something, Terry? Hmm. Oh. Guest has muted themselves. Well, I don't know what happened to Terry. I'm so sorry, Terry. Try to log back in. Maybe it'll work. Here she comes. Oh, man.
Hi.
Oh, there you are. Yeah, it was muted
Yeah,
before. It kept
it
saying
wouldn't let me unmute. It had a line across it and would not let me change it. I don't know why.
it just doesn't like you, Terry. I'm so sorry.
Well, this is my first time on this.
I
We should
know.
have zoomed.
I know. We
So
probably lost half of our audience because it was like 5 minutes
I'm
of
sorry,
dead
guys.
air. That's okay. It
We
happened.
still love you. We're just. I'm old. You're not. That's my
I'm pretty
excuse.
old. We're all getting older. What can you do? But you look
I know.
fantastic.
Well, you know the accident I had yesterday. I tell you
I
what.
do. So you want to tell everyone?
Oh, I spilt my first bottle of ink.
And when she says bottle, she means bottle.
The whole, and I really wanted to try this.
Yeah.
It was, and look at this. This fool has the ink buddy.
Yeah.
I have the little thing here, everything to
Wow.
hold the funny bottles. And what do? I drop a whole bottle of Robert Oster. And it's called Motor Oil. I wanted to try it so
Oh
bad.
boy.
And it's coming up. It really is.
Is it water soluble at least?
This is something that Lisa, when she was in Chicago, Anderson's
Oh.
Pens,
Mm-hmm.
she introduced this to me. You can get it on Amazon too for like
Sure.
$11. Gets out anything.
Oh, that's
Anything.
good. So we
Yeah.
might have to call
So,
you like Jackson Pollock from now on or something, right?
well, I actually was going to do this because I got this to see if you could handle it.
Is that the carousel?
Yes,
It's a
and you
lot
can
smaller
handle
than
it.
I was
It is
expecting. Can you hold
it's
it up again?
quite it's
It's really
quite
small, right?
yeah, but it's quite sturdy and heavy for its size.
I still think it's an accident waiting to happen. I think
No,
if I
because you
spun
tilt it
that,
like
it
this to
would.
get every last drop out.
Yeah.
You know, um, but I love these. You know what my favorite one? These are my oldest ones. You ready for this?
Tell me. Oh,
Can
that's
you see both of them?
yeah. I like
These
that.
are from 1914, Grandma and Grandpa.
Oh, very
They're
nice.
inkwells
I'm
from
assuming.
Germany.
I figured they're either inkwells or salt shakers.
Well, why would I have salt shakers in the office? I
Well,
do
you should
have
throw it
strange
over your
things.
shoulder at this point after you're spilling all this
That's
ink on
true.
it. Yeah.
But you know what? I have odd things like in that hutch up there. This is what I
Sure.
keep. This is from
Oh, that's cool.
Dante DeVecchio.
Oh,
He
no
signed the
kidding.
box. I've never used it. He was
That's
up there
so
one day and we
cool.
spent at Atlas, of course. We
Sure.
spent hours talking, and I have 3 pens that he signed lovely, and I haven't used any of them.
Oh, that's so nice. Oh, it's so fun. Look at you. That's fantastic.
But he
Terry,
is so cool.
you have an amazing collection, and more than that, you're one of the most generous people I know. You sent
Thank
me a
you.
care package. I'm overwhelmed by it. Like I'm still going through it. Like it's so
Well,
sweet, so nice. I
I think
really
it's our
appreciate it.
community. I think it's our community of people. We just have good people. I mean, you get some bad apples and everything, but like you were talking about Peyton Street, it's just amazing. My mother,
Yeah.
my mom passed away last fall,
Yes.
and had her pens, and also I got to show you this. I have not uninked her Twisbees. These were my mom's.
Oh,
She was an artist. She
sure.
was amazing. She actually, let me show you something. See this old magazine?
Yes.
My mom was a smart woman. This is my mom.
I, I
I
can't quite
can't
see.
figure out this camera.
Oh,
This
but
is my
yeah.
mom. She was a model, and she
Oh,
never
very
told us
nice.
kids.
Oh, that's
She
so
never
fun.
told us
Wow.
because she didn't want us to be little brats.
Oh, that's so
She was
fun.
on billboards and magazines, and she was just, you know what she said? I was that because I I had good hair. That's what she said.
Oh, wow.
Natural redhead. But this,
My
she's the one that got me started. You got to get this, Tim. It's really a cool pen.
what is that? It looks interesting.
That is, do you remember in the, well, ironically, 1939, Henry, what was his last name? Dreyfus. He
Okay.
created, remember the train?
Yeah, the
Rolls-
bullet train. Or
Yeah, the
no,
bull
what's that
train,
called? The streamlined one, the Art
the
Deco one.
streamliner.
Yes.
This is the pen,
Oh
and
wow.
ironically, I think I might, if I can break away from one. That was my family's favorite. These are my family's pen, and look at this is why I got it.
Oh, very cool. That's tiny.
So yeah, but no. When you cap, it's meant to be posted, and it's just a steel nib, affordable. On I think it's the family pen. It is writes like a dream. But you know what? Like you were talking about the inexpensive ones, I've never had a
Mm-hmm.
bad one.
Mm.
Um, in the community, I feel like our pens are beauties. Everybody's got a beautiful
Oh
persona
yeah,
to somebody, but it's the nib that's the heart.
absolutely.
And I feel like, you got Dante, and then, well, Robert Oscarson. That man carves these things, stainless or sterling silver, flies to Europe and has them fired. And there's, I think he said, 3 master crafts. And you would think it'd be a heavy, uncomfortable pen. It's a dream. And
Very
on my
nice.
Instagram is a picture of him and I talking.
Very nice.
But you got Atlas. Oh, how can you not love everybody at Atlas?
Well, we're
You
gonna
got to
see
get down
Brendan
there.
next week.
Yeah, but you've got to get down there.
I will one
Hemingway.
day. I want to go to
You do.
Chicago, but if I don't, in
You
the meantime, I am planning on being at Washington D.C. And with any luck, he'll be there again.
yeah. He
So we're
he
gonna
is.
book
Well,
ours in January.
you got Yost, you got Tom, you got. I
Yeah.
mean, it's just, and then you got a person like Emmy. Have you ever looked at his site, Pen Venture? That man started on like we would consider a trip money, and
Mm-hmm.
made this fantastic. And every pen I get from him, he writes me a letter.
Oh, that's so kind.
And I keep all the letters from people that write me letters.
That's so nice. Yeah, me too. I need
And
something
so,
for
and
me.
it's from his heart, and
Yeah,
there's so
that's
many.
lovely.
Well, I was a business person, and I just love,
Yeah.
like, well, Lisa and Brian Anderson. She was in Chicago for a while,
Hmm. Very
and
nice. I don't really know them to be honest, but
did you know she was in Chicago for a while? I got to meet her there.
I don't really know who she is to be honest.
Lisa Anderson, Anderson's
Yeah.
Pins,
I
really,
heard of
Brian and
them,
Lisa.
but I don't. Yeah,
Oh,
sorry.
they're a married couple, and you would get a hoot.
Oh, really? Oh, nice. Well, I
Yeah,
have some familiarity with that.
yeah.
Very
But I
cool.
got to show you something real quick.
All right,
I had
because we
these
need to
before
wrap
you
up
did.
after
Okay,
that.
I had these before you did. You see what they are?
I see they're write your story journals. Very nice.
Yeah, Esterbrook.
I like
When you
those.
when you showed me you had all 3 and I already had them, I'm like, oh my gosh, he scares me.
Yeah. Well, I only have one. Brian sent me it, the brown one. Very nice.
Oh, did he? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I have all 3. I thought you had all 3,
Nope.
but
Just the one, but I
this
like it.
is my biggie. Like, I'm going to show you real quick.
Very nice.
That I just got a case for
Wow, beautiful.
the Namiki. But yes, I do have, and I all love them in a different way. What time is it? We're running over.
Yep. I think
So
what the
anyway,
clock is counting down, so we're gonna have to
yeah.
go. But it was lovely seeing you. Thank you for everything you do
Sorry
for
for
the
the. I
channel.
don't know why it wouldn't. It said you were. I was ringing you, and it just wouldn't do anything.
That
So
it happens. Don't worry about it. Technology, especially with me, it's kind of part of the show. So we'll have you back. Don't worry.
okay,
All right,
you
you take
guys.
care.
You
Thank you so
too.
much, and thank you everyone for watching. I hope you enjoyed the show. We have a new video on Egyptomania coming out on Thursday. I think you'll like. So everyone, please take care of yourselves, and I promise you, we'll see each other again further up the road. So take care. Bye-bye, Terry. Thanks again.
Bye.
Bye.